So I'm sure by now you must have seen these two images here, which is combined in one image. These are the two very important clinical tests. One is called as the Ortolani's test. The other one is called as the Barlow's test. These are the two tests that we do in this condition called as congenital hip dislocation. Let me explain. We are called to examine a patient. It's a newborn, it's a girl born with a breech condition, breech delivery. That's a risk factor. I go there. I don't know whether there is any hip dislocation or not. I'm certainly not aware of it. I make the baby lie down supine on the examination couch. I stand in front of the baby as this examiner is. Then what I do is I use my right hand and I hold the left thigh of the baby. I'll tell you how. I put my thumb on inside of the thigh. I put my fingers on outside of the thigh. I put my thumb on inside of the thigh. I put my fingers on outside of the left thigh. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to apply a pull. I'm sure you all know push, pull. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to apply a pull. You can see the first thing he's going to do is I'm going to apply a pull. After application of pull, the second thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to A, B. Yes, Bombay, B Bombay, AB duct. I'm sure you can see this arrow. So my right hand is kept on the left thigh in such a way that my thumb is on inside of the thigh, my fingers are on outside of the thigh. The first thing I'm going to do is pull. After pull, what I need to do is AB duct, AB duct, AB duct, AB duct, AB duct. And then I hear a voice, I hear a click, I feel a click. What? Tuck. What is that tuck? That tuck is basically a clicking sensation. That is basically a click. That is basically the clunk of entry. That means that the hip was dislocated, which I have reduced. So this is what is called as Ortolani's test, and to tell you more about it, it's a dual modality. It is diagnostic as well as therapeutic. When I say it is diagnostic, what does that mean? That it gives you a diagnosis that the hip was dislocated, but at the same time it reduces hip for you. So it's a dual modality. It is diagnostic as well as therapeutic. Now once we have done Ortolani's test, which I'm sure by now you must have understood that in this maneuver, the first thing to be done is pull and then AB duct, and then you hear a tuck. That means that the head is now reduced inside. Ortolani's test positive, the hip was dislocated, which you have reduced. But do you think is there any guarantee that once you reduce the hip won't dislocate again in future? No. While feeding the baby, changing the sides, while doing anything, it is quite possible that head might get dislocated again in future. So once you have reduced the hip, don't you think it is your job to check whether you can dislocate easily again? Yes or no? Yes. What do? We do Barlow's test. We do Ortolani's part 2. We do its sequel, Barlow's test, where after reducing the hip, I will try to dislocate and I will see whether I can dislocate it or not. Now, first of all, I will apply a pull. Sorry, I will apply a push. So I will apply a push, and after application of push, what I will do is I will adduct. Okay, I'll show it to you. I'll repeat it for you. When you went to the baby for the first time, when you did not know anything about that condition, the head was somewhere here, acetabulum was here, it was dislocated. So what you did, thumb here, fingers there. So what you did, pull, and then you did AB duct, AB duct, AB duct, AB duct, and you heard cluck. That means it was dislocated, which you have reduced. Ortolani is positive. But is there any guarantee that it won't dislocate again in future? No. So what you will do now, you will apply a push. You will apply a push. You will apply adduction, and it will get dislocated again. See, it has got dislocated again. So it is at that point of time that you will say that when I came here, the hip was dislocated, which I reduced. Ortolani is positive. But once I reduced, I was not sure whether I can dislocate again in future or not, and I tried to push adduct, it got dislocated. So that means that the hip not only in the past was dislocated, even in the future it is dislocatable. This head of the femur, I repeat, this head of the femur in future is again dislocatable. So that is what is called as Ortolani's test part 2. That is what is called as BARLOW, Barlow's test. So this is what is called as BARLOW, Barlow's test. Of course, it sounds a little weird to perform Barlow's test, but that is what the textbooks mention. So these are two very important clinical tests for congenital hip dislocation. Stay tuned to the channel, and looking forward to more content giving it to you, and please do subscribe to the channel. Thank you.